Okay, welcome everyone. This is the July 5th regular meeting of the North Shore Board of Fire Commissioners, and our first order of business will be roll call.
Good evening, Commissioner Admin.
Here.
Commissioner Pratt,
Present.
Commissioner Byers,
Present.
Commissioner Webster,
Here.
Commissioner Woolham. Here. Chief Cowan's unavailable this evening. Legal Counsel Matt Paxton.
Here.
And I'm Board Secretary Amy Oakley.
Just as a side note, there is a possibility that Chief Cowan will be joining us late. If he can make it work, he might zoom in by phone.
Okay.
Okay, item number 2, public comment.
I did not receive any advance requests, but I see one hand raised. Mike D, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. You have 3 minutes to make your comments.
Thank you, Mike D. Sorry, I'm on a noisy bus here. I was looking at the chief's report and I was curious about the shoreline incident that caused the emergency operations center to be open or whatever, activated, I guess. And then I was also curious about if the shoreline has a new emergency manager and if Lake Forest Park Kenmore got one for the NEMCO. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. The incident causing the EEOC to be opened, we remain confidential. There may be some information in the press, but I'll wait till the chief determines it's appropriate to comment on that. All right. Item number 3 is our approval of the agenda. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the agenda as shown. I'll second.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. All right, it's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Item number 4, board discussion and possible action items. Our one agenda item there is the, I'm sorry, Amy?
I just want to make an announcement for the record that Chief Cowan has joined the meeting.
Excellent. Welcome, Chief Cowan. I did get notice, board discussion and possible action items. There are one item on there is the server room HVAC estimates, and I understand that Zeb has met with 2 other contractors, but has not received estimates to present at this time. So that will be delayed till our July 19th meeting. Okay. Item 5, board resolutions, none. Item 6 is our consent agenda.
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented. I'll second that.
Excellent. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And aye. All right, excellent. Thank you. Okay. Item 7, reports. Fire Chief Cowan.
So I'm very sorry that such a late breaking activity report. Unfortunately, it's been a really busy 48 hours. And I thought I was gonna be able to get to it this morning at the latest, and that didn't work out. Most of the work is about integrating and blending everybody. We did start blending personnel on July 1st. It's not a full scale, blending. It is sporadic, overtime, debit days, things like that. We are still not anticipating, reassignments until the end of the year, but that's been going well from what I've been told. Our subject matter experts, our SMEs, have come up with and finalized a plan on how to get the engines together, which means getting combination nozzles and appropriate hose for some of the attack lines. Some of the attack lines will still remain the same on the North Shore rigs. We'll also be converting some of the shoreline to more to some of the attack line configurations that North Shore has. But we need to get combination nozzles and hose, the appropriate hose for those nozzles onto the North Shore rigs. Unfortunately, I don't know where that is. I was hoping to get an update today, but again, it's been very busy today with the incident that we had yesterday. So I didn't get a chance to speak with Deputy Chief Foster on where we're at with that, but it is in process. That's been where most of the work has been. Is there any questions? Did you guys get my activity report? I gave it very late to Amy. It's not her fault. It's my fault. Did you guys get a chance to look at it?
Chief,
Just before the meeting.
Okay.
Chief, I didn't have an opportunity to look at that. There was a question from a citizen inquiring about the event in Shoreline, and I kind of deferred, said that I'd wait to see if it was appropriate to comment on it until Fire Chief commented. I didn't know what's being released, but if you could make a short statement on it, that'd be great.
Sure. It was, we got called out yesterday about 20 minutes to 2 yesterday afternoon for what was called at the time a trench rescue. There is an element of a trench rescue in this, but it is far, far greater than that. It was more of an excavation site with a trench in the bottom and in a very limited access and steep terrain, kind of at the border of a ravine even. The excavation site is about 20 feet wide, 25 feet long, and about 20 feet deep, 20 plus feet deep, where there was 2 fatalities in this. Workers that were on site doing some work. What I've been told is that there was a break or a collapse of a sewer line, and they were trying to dig down to get to it to repair it. And it's a very complex site. The soil remained unstable. We did do some initial what we call rescue work, which is when we believe that we will risk a lot to save a lot. That's kind of our mantra as far as from a risk benefit standpoint. And so the initial responding units got there and started digging down, with us, a couple of the other workers that were not in the slough-in. A slough-in is when there's dirt that slides into the site itself, and that's what we believe happened. So the workers were there. Our personnel were there. I think there was even some police officers there digging down. And once they were buried under about 3 feet of dirt from above their heads. And so it was worked down, be able to assess the ABCs and whether or not they were still alive, which unfortunately they were not. And so at that point we backed out because it was, even while they were digging, there was more dirt sloughing in. So it was not a safe place to be. But again, we'll risk a lot to save a lot. And so at that point we were in rescue mode, but then we backed out and went into what we call recovery mode, which is then we're trying to be as safe as we can and still facilitate the extrication. We had units from, we had a ton of units, from North Shore Shoreline, but we even had Woodinville's ladder over there. Bothel's ladder at one point was dispatched but then canceled. We got equipment from Seattle. We were using City of Shoreline, North City Water District, Ronald Wastewater. At one point we had over 20 units and nearly 50 personnel working. We tried to basically use an evacuator truck, which is you've probably seen them, that they suck all the debris out of drains. That's typically what they're used for, but they also are used to suck dirt and things like that, especially in trench rescue, and they're very powerful. So we tried to use a ladder to give us an access point above the hole, because it was not safe to put anybody in the hole. We used the evacuator to try and break up the dirt around the 2 deceased, but it just wasn't effective because we couldn't get the leverage that was needed. So we ended last night about around 10:30, I think, last night, and then regrouped today, and then worked with the city, opened up the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, at a low level to help get us the logistical support and access to the resources from the county and even state if necessary. got a soils engineer to look at the site to confirm, what we already thought, which was unstable, and he did. And now we're right now in the process, as we speak, of trying to mobilize some of the equipment. We're going to use a subcontractor of Sound Transit and maybe even Sound Transit's equipment to get the big steel commercial shoring that you've probably seen. And we're going to use a big piece of shoring, stabilize that, and then use a smaller one inside the bigger one around where the two deceased are, so that we can then lower one of our personnel into there to again use the evacuator. At that point, be able to use it by hand to break up the soil, because it's very, very compacted, almost like concrete. And then once we've exposed enough of the dirt around them, then hopefully hoist them back out to the ladder, and they're both right next to each other. So once we get one out, they'll both come out. There's been a lot of family on the scene. There's been a lot of media presence. You probably see me all over the news if you haven't already. And making sure that we were supporting the family as best we can, because at this point, and they've been very supportive of us and understanding when I've explained to them, how we're going to try and minimize our personnel. They're very conscious of that and are supportive of trying to make sure that we don't injure or hurt anybody else. So that's the quick version. They're working on it right now. They'll be working through the night. We're working in shifts through the night. Maybe if everything goes well tonight, maybe tonight, but hopefully by tomorrow at the latest, we'll be able to get them both out. So
Thanks,
any
Chief.
questions on any of that? Or,
Commissioner Webster?
On another note, what do we got going with the other question that came up was NEMCO, our leadership for NEMCO. Do you have any information?
Sure.
On that, Chief?
Yeah, so I believe Kevin has been, starting to work on everything that we're trying to get caught up on everything and get up to speed on all of that. We've set him up in his office. I have not had a chance to talk to him directly over the last week or two, but I believe he's getting all the support that he needs. And I've got a meeting set up. I've established a monthly meeting with Harden, Mike Harden.
Yes, Mike Harden, Chief Harden.
Thank you. With Chief Harden, we're going to be meeting monthly to make sure that we're just understanding and getting the good communication about any needs that he may have. But I believe he's going strong as far as what I've been told. I don't know much more than that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. I had one question. Is there an update, any movement or traction or decisions that you've been able to come up with on aid 157?
Just, unfortunately, the numbers I was telling you about with the mandatory overtimes at the last meeting, they went way high right after that meeting. So again, it's an indicator of where we're at with our staffing levels. But now that our academy graduates are now on the street, we're starting to see some of that relief. And so my plan is still to go on August 1st. Thank you again for giving me that extra month of flexibility. Is to go on August 1st and commit to that. I believe, if not all personnel, I think we're very close to all the personnel getting the training necessary. I will touch base with Division Chief Willem on that tomorrow and find out where we're at. But I believe that everybody's got the training, so we're ready to go once we pull the trigger.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief. Any other questions on the Chief's report? Okay, any commissioners with reports? Legal counsel?
One administrative matter, I'll be out of the office for your next meeting. I can find legal counsel to fill in my place if you'd like from my firm, Richard Davis most likely. Or I wanted to open the discussion. I know in the past there's been discussions of having me attend fewer meetings. I won't take that personally, but I just want to let you know that we're here if that's what you want.
Thanks, Matt. I know on our next meeting, we're discussing whether or not we should move to one meeting a month. I think it's at our next meeting. So why don't once Amy and I and the chief get the agenda squared away, I'll touch base with you and see if there's even a need for you to attend. Or not for you to attend, but for you to have a replacement to attend our next meeting on the 19th. Does that seem reasonable?
Very good. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Item 8 on our agenda, upcoming agenda items. I just mentioned one, the need for a discussion on the need for 2 meetings per month. Continue with the estimates on the HVAC system for the server room, and an update on aid 157. Anything else that we need to include on our next meeting agenda? Commissioner Webster?
A couple of them, I'd like to, we need to find out, I think if you didn't say anything about the HVAC systems, we need to keep going on that. Another question I have is about the door codes for Station 51, when we're going to get assigned new numbers so we can get into the station and stuff. So I think Zeb said that's coming up in the next week or two. And then my last item is for our agreement, we talked about getting a counting of hours to our 2 stations. And I want to make sure that I know there's a lot of Chief on your plate, but that's still something we want to see a report on how that distribution happens. And I know you have to, you got a payroll system you're working out, but I still want to keep that on the high burner there. So
It's definitely still on my list. It's just we need to, there's a few other things that we need to get in place before I'll be able to push that report out. But it's definitely still on it's a high priority on my list.
I'll just keep it on the burner. So thanks.
That's totally fine. Keep me accountable.
Commissioner Wollam?
I also wanted to figure out if we're part of the King County Fire Commissioners Association and if we're part of Washington State Fire Commissioners Association. I'm not sure what's missing in there, but it seems like we're maybe not part of the state. So I was a little confused about that. So I'd like to do some research on that, but I would like it to be a speaking point next time.
That sounds good.
Nothing should have changed unless you weren't in the state already. We certainly, are still supportive of being involved in the county, and hopefully the state.
I know that Dawn did some research on that. I'm having a hard time recalling the exact details, but I think if Commissioner Wollam, if you reached out to her, then that would provide the information that you're looking for, and then maybe you could report back to us at the next meeting.
Okay.
Let me know if you need any help with that too, Commissioner Wollam.
Okay. Anything else for our next meeting on the 19th? Amy?
I have that we'll do a final approval of the revised policy 1410 and also a standing item update from the subcommittee on administrative activities not covered under the ILA.
Great.
Chief Count and I still need to get together on that, and Commissioner Byers. So we haven't had a chance to do that. It's been a little busy. So Chief, we'll put that on our agenda.
Sure.
Commissioner Webster, do you anticipate being able to have a meeting before the meeting on the 19th?
I don't think so. I think we should put that for the first meeting in the following month, August.
Thanks. Amy, let's push that one out, one meeting.
And that meeting, I don't know if this is the time to bring it up, but
Sure.
I won't be available, and Beatrice is also not available. So Joyce had reached out to ask about if there's a possibility to move or postpone that meeting. Dawn's not available for that meeting also, or you can cover it yourself. But we're not, the board secretaries are all in different unavailableness.
Yeah,
So-
I did see that email today, so let's have that discussion at our next meeting.
Okay,
Whether or not we are gonna have that first meeting in August.
okay. But I'll tentatively move this item, the administrative activities, to an August, 1st August
Yeah.
meeting.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? All right, seeing none and having arrived at the end of our agenda, we are now adjourned.
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah.